Hello everybody, welcome and welcome back. Today I am going to do the books and makeup tag because for some reason today I felt like putting makeup on, even though we're actually back into a lockdown in Auckland where I live in New Zealand. Just fancied it, you know, and recently Jamie had talked about doing this tag again, and I saw yesterday that Mika had posted this tag. And I was like, you know what, those are vibes put out from the universe telling me to just get on with it. Actually, before I do start, I'm just going to put a little bit of moisturizer on. So this is basically just hyaluronic acid, which I find really good prior to putting on makeup. My personal preference is to not put on a really thick moisturizer before I put on makeup, especially if it's something like getting ready for work in the morning right after you have a shower, so you have to kind of be hurried about it and not let it soak in properly. But this absorbs straight away and it makes a nice base for whatever I put on top. This is the CosRx brand. I have a lot of K-beauty and K-skincare, and honestly I'll never go back. It's so good, it's so much cheaper. Why is everybody not on that train? So the first question relates to primer, which is something I don't often wear, but for the sake of today I shall. One of my primers is the Hemish Art Glow base, and this has SPF in it as well. We love to see it. But the book question for primer is a book that left a lasting impression on you, and there are many I could put here, especially many recent ones. Lasting impression is an interesting one because it doesn't mean it's a book you think of often, or doesn't mean it's a book that influenced who you are. What does it mean, you know? So what I've decided to go with is a book that I read during my university years, and I read it in my first year of university for an English paper on desire. It was the first book I ever read by this author, and to this day is the only book I've ever read by this author, which is a crime because I adored it so much. And this book really reopened my eyes and my mind to how much I loved reading and how incredible language is. After a fairly long stint of not reading much when I had read a lot as a child, I sort of fell out with it during high school because I got preoccupied with other things that I thought were cool. Let's not go there right now. So the book that left a lasting impression on me is Ernest Hemingway's The Sun Also Rises. This novel is stunning. It probably won't be for everyone. It's a bit battered because it's my original copy, but I love it so much. How stunning is this homeboy on the cover? Hemingway definitely won't be for everybody, but he was for me. I really loved this book so much, especially the final line. This book is worth it just to read the ending. And for me to praise a final line when my favorite book is The Great Gatsby, which has the best final line of all time, this is potentially second best. Left a lasting impression on me in the sense that it has stuck with me ever since I first read it. It reminded me just how amazing literature is. On to foundation. I use the Etude House Double Lasting Foundation. This is probably like my 5th bottle of this. I haven't used anything else since I started using it. My shade is Neutral Vanilla, I think. Yes. Favorite first book in a series. This was hard in the sense that I don't have a huge amount to pick from. And I also was trying to figure out whether a duology is a series, because if it were, I would probably choose Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. But in case the general consensus is that it isn't, I've chosen Nevernight by Jake Kristoff. This book just completely surprised me when I first read it. It's so rare that something so hyped really lives up to that hype, and for me this book did. I still haven't read Dark Dawn, the 3rd book in the series, but Nevernight remains a really good book in my eyes, even though the author has definitely said and done some questionable things both in and out of the book. So we'll just move on, shall we? And I just use a stippling brush, spread her around a bit. I've probably overshot this considering I forget that when you wear primer you don't really need as much foundation, or I find that to be the case with these two products anyway, the particular primer and foundation. If anyone else has done the makeup and book tag, please hit me up because I'd love to watch more of them. I honestly just kind of need like booktuber recommendations in general. I have been like on Twitter and stuff for over a year and I still have an embarrassingly small pool of people I actually sort of like follow and watch, and it's kind of for lack of trying, if I'm honest. Like, I need to get more into it. I just get so sidetracked with like watching my friends' stuff like Jamie and Chloe, and I need to branch out. So let me know if you've done this video. It's not perfectly blended, but that'll do, donkey. You know, like sometimes when you put on makeup and then you're just like, there she is. Sad but true. Next, I'm going to do my eyebrows. This part of my makeup changes quite a bit just in terms of color because I seem to constantly have a different hair color. At the moment, my roots are quite dark and then the rest of it is not as dark. So I'm just going to use this matte brown that I have in this cute little Etude House Kit Kat palette, which smells like Kit Kat. Can you believe that? And has really pretty colors in it, including like a really nice red. So I'm just using this one here. I don't really like reinvent the wheel here or anything. I just try to fill in the bits that are more sparse than the rest. So the question here is, oh, a book you think everyone should read. So for this, I've gone with a classic, shock horror. It's a very short classic, so I expect everyone to give it a try. It's a book that really took me by surprise. I knew of its existence, but I hadn't read anything by this author. One day I picked up this book and I was really blown away by it. And they became a new favorite author for me, and probably a new favorite book, I would say. It's not like, you know, my favorite of all time or anything, but it is definitely in the conversation. John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men, which is a classic. You do need to know there are trigger warnings for ableism and racism, but I have said it before and I'll say it again. This particular classic does what many classics do not, in that when it has instances of ableism and racism, I believe, like, my interpretation of the text is that it is 100% against those things, and it is using those things in a subversive way to show the horror of them. This is not a book that gratuitously uses those horrific things for no purpose or for shock value, which I find a lot of books do. Be aware that parts of it can be hard to read, but for me personally, such a rewarding reading experience, and I think everybody should give this a try. Honestly, I'm probably not going to do much more to my eyebrows beyond that. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. Can I stop saying that? Now is when I would probably move on to eyeshadow. What look do I want to do today? I haven't thought that far ahead, which is not my best work, shall we say. I do really like this Kit Kat palette, and I've been kind of craving doing a dark makeup lately, even though these aren't really dark. I also have this really nice Hamish eyeshadow palette. Like, look how stunning. Are you kidding me with that pink? Maybe I'll do like a pink vibe all over with this top left pale vibe. Question for eyeshadow: a book with your favorite colors on the cover. So I would say I have a favorite color, and it is, you guessed it, pink. But since I've said colors plural, my second favorite color would absolutely be blue. Bloody love blue. I tried to find something that's kind of a marriage of the two, and also a book I like. Beisua's Untold Night and Day, which I read recently and thoroughly enjoyed. It was a time, and we have this gorgeous pink border, and then this is kind of a bluey grey vibe. I'm gonna take a bit under my eye as well, which is something I don't always do. Like, a lot of the time I'm not huge on eyeshadow, and I might often just do like an eyeliner or something like that. I'm gonna go in with this actual pink color now. Oh, she's stunning. She is stunning. I've decided to just put that all over. Oh my god, it's so weird to be like doing makeup on camera. For how many years have I dreamed of this? Many. Back in ye olden days of watching makeup tutorials all the time. Who were you guys obsessed with? I used to be so obsessed with Pixie Woo and Tanya Burr. Moved into like Lisa Eldridge. Honestly, I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a makeup tutorial. I actually recently did a clear out of my makeup because I was just disgusted at how much I had accumulated. I think part of what killed it for me is like getting a corporate job, because I was like, I just didn't feel as though I could rock in there with like pink eyeshadow and pink lipstick, you know, and also who wants to get up so early that they have to do that makeup before work? Like, not me, ma'am. I'm gonna take this darker color, that one. Now I kind of have to decide if I want some glitter up in here. I think I do. I'm gonna take another brush and kind of blend the edges a bit. Darker colors. I feel like I have beauty marked somewhere. She's so pretty. Yep, creating a bit of depth there. I'm gonna put a bit of glitter on. Oh, she's so stunning. Are you kidding? I love glitter. I love matte as well. I honestly couldn't choose. No, I could, it's glitter. Next we're gonna do some eyeliner. Oh, the glittery shade I used, by the way, was from this palette as well. It was this one. The eyeliner I use is the Kill Black Waterproof Blush Eyeliner. Brush, not blush. Eyeliner wise, I normally just focus on the outer corners and doing like a wing vibe. Like that, and I often won't really bring it in any further because I find it can close my eye a bit. So that's generally what I do. I just kind of free ball it. They're fairly even. Now I'll just go over them in like a bit of black eyeshadow and like smudge it a bit maybe. Eyeliner, pick a dark and mysterious book. If you know, you know. I've gone with Bunny by Mona Awad, which is a favorite book of mine. I loved it. I read it earlier this year with no assumptions really whatsoever. It became an instant favorite for me. Dark and mysterious in the fact that the more I reflect on this book, the less sure I am what was going on, what was real, what was not. I'd say it's a horror, almost like a contemporary gothic, I'd say. Not really a book I would recommend to everybody. For people considering reading it, like, I didn't know any of this ahead of time and I really enjoyed it, but I know that it's not everybody's vibe. You may want to know that Bunny is not a book that will answer all your questions. It leaves a lot of things ever so slightly uncertain. I think Bunny was marketed as similar to Heathers, and it definitely is. Heathers is such a good movie. Who's watched Heathers? Maybe I'll watch that later. It's been way too long since I watched it. Mascara. So first I'm gonna curl my lashes. Chloe recently got the magnetic lashes, which come with the magnetic eyeliner, and she said they were like amazing, so maybe I'll try some of those. The mascara I use is just a random one from like a pharmacy here, or like a drugstore, I guess, if you're in America or whatever. The brand is W7. I feel like it's a New Zealand and Australia brand, and this is their like vegan line. My mum got this for me as a Christmas present actually. It's absolutely fine. It's not like the best mascara in the world or anything, but she does a bloody good job for a mascara that I'm pretty sure is like $5 and vegan, so we love that. And the mascara prompt is pick a long book. I'm gonna expose myself a bit and say I own quite a few long books, and found when preparing for this prompt that I have basically read none of them. The longest I've read recently was Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas, which was just atrocious in my humble opinion. Instead I have picked one of my favorite books of all time, which is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Doesn't look that long, but she's over 600 pages, so I'm counting it. I love this book, I love this book, I love this book. It is long, but I would have kept reading about it for a million years. She could have made it longer. No, I think it's actually probably the perfect length. Not to be like so blindsided by how much I love that book, but it's kind of like, if you don't love that book, what are you doing? Like, if you don't love that book, you didn't get it. Maybe put a bit of concealer on. This is the Big Cover Skin Fit Pro concealer. It's a K-Beauty one. I got it in Korea. I can't remember which store I got it at. Maybe, oh, Etude House. There you go. Also, I was in Korea like over 2 years ago. I didn't start using this right then, and it's still going strong. And it's absolutely fine. I've never been someone who's been like super picky with my concealers. I've definitely noticed I have like darker circles like as I'm getting older, but that's life, baby. So I don't really put it anywhere except under my eyes, just to like brighten that up a bit. This question is, pick a character you wish didn't exist. I actually had a really hard time with this. I finally figured out one I could maybe pick, but I do think it serves a really important purpose, you know, in that story, and it's really important to another character's, you know, characterization and growth and motivations and all those things. So I've chosen the character of our protagonist's brother. So in Sally Rooney's Normal People, which is one of my favorite books ever, I adore this book, our main character Marianne has a brother who is a complete piece of shit. I hate him. And that's all I have to say on that. Powder, not something I like often wear, to be honest, because my skin's pretty dry, so I find especially in winter, which we are in now, I don't need to really whack on the powder, but I have the Hourglass 3-way ambient light, dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. I got this kind of recently actually because I had a voucher for Mecca, which is like a makeup place which has lots of different brands. So I'm just dabbing on it. It's a lovely powder. I'm glad that I got it, because when I need powder, this is what she'll go for. Question for powder is, pick your favorite last book in a series. Again, like I said earlier with picking that first book, it's pretty slim pickings for me with series, but this was easy because I loved The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. The Cruel Prince series is a vibe. Like, I will say that when I read the first book, I was like, is that it? I only gave the first book 3 stars, but I thought I'm gonna push through because I was buddy reading it with my friend Xavier, who I love, and we just have so much fun buddy readings, and we were just like, Carden and his tale deserve for us to keep reading. Read The Wicked King, liked it more, which I think is the minority opinion in that case. And then The Queen of Nothing was just chef's kiss. I gave this book 5 stars. I just opened one of my tabs. By You, I Am Forever Undone. Love Carden, love Jude. On to bronzer. I'm using, it's again that W7 brand, the vegan brand. And this bronzer, again, like for literally like $5, and I fucking love it. It's so good. So the question for this one is the perfect summer read. For that, I am finally going to talk about the book. This book takes place over summer, a very hot summer in 1920s New York. It's the perfect summer read because it's a story about hope and about the promise of life and about how great life can be. And I think for a lot of people, summer is the high point of the year. A lot of people really love that season. Personally, I'm a winter gal, like I'm not huge on summer, but I see its appeal. I do see, you know, those long nights fading into dark and so on, and like the social aspect is really fun, and you know, I love swimming and stuff. Me being like, I hate summer, and then listing all stuff I love about it. I do the whole cheeks thing, and then I do around the jawline, down the neck, a bit on the nose, and a bit on the forehead. And now she has a bit of dimension. The book I wish to talk about as the perfect summer read is the one and only The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is one of my many editions. It's one I've read, so I have all my tabs. Look how many tabs. But next is contour, and normally I wouldn't really make these 2 separate steps. I would just kind of like do what I've done with the bronzer and leave it. For this I'm using the MAC blush in Harmony. It's very used, but it's very good. I used it for many years until I found that bronzer. Question here is a book that surprised you with how much depth it had. I picked Never Let Me Go by Katsuo Ishiguro. So innovative. It's a calm read, almost to the point that you don't even realize how horrific the things you're reading about are, and it's so thought-provoking. I could think about this book forever, and in terms of depth, it just immediately came to mind. A really nice accompaniment to this book is the film adaptation, and this is the film tie-in edition. I found this in a market in Dublin when I was there with my friend in July 2016. Purchased it as a book to read on the plane, I think. I love the film. The film is excellent. It's so good, so good. Now we're on to blush, and I'm going to use a few different ones because I want my cheeks to be very pink. So the first I'm going to use is the Samuel blush in number 4. And it's this really pretty peachy pink. I got it in Korea again. I don't really just do the diagonal, I kind of bring it into my nose a bit because I like how it ties it in a bit more with the rest of my face. And now I'm going to take a bit of another blush by the makeup store, and this is Sugar Pink, and layer that on a bit. I used to never really wear blush when I was younger, and now I'm like, bitch, blush is amazing. Question for this is a romance that makes you cringe, and again, like, there's not really many I feel strongly about because I really like romance most of the time, but I did not like Mal and Elena in the Grishaverse Shadow and Bone trilogy. That was yuck. Okay, now onto highlighter, and for this I'm again potentially going to use more than one product. This is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Lust, which I got so many years ago, and I love this. It's kind of like the pink equivalent to Soft and Gentle, which is another one I love. So I'm just taking that over the cheeks, and I might put that like down my nose a bit, actually, maybe upper lip, maybe the chin a bit. That vegan brand, the W7 brand, and this is just their very vegan highlighting powder. It is really amazing. Again, for the price, it's so good. Don't know if you can see it. Not really cool. Do like a angled shape there to get under my brow bone. For my inner corner highlight, I basically exclusively use the Mary Luminizer by The Balm. For this, I just go right in those inner corners, both above the lid and under. This is another thing like blush, which I feel like really just brings a look together, you know? For highlighter, the question is a book that brightens your day. For that, I chose Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which is just one of my absolute faves. I love it so much because, you know, we have a happy ending, and I love the film, and I just, I love the story, and it definitely makes me happy and feel all those love vibes. Also, this book is just so pretty. Are you kidding? Now I think we're on to the last, which is lipstick, or whatever you're doing with your lips. What color do I want to do? Do I want to do something like bright? This is hard. Let me look at all my lip things. Oh, this might be the vibe. This is the 3CE lipstick, matte lipstick in 223. Like a purpley pink. Oh, so pretty. And the prompt for this is favorite kiss, and again for this I was kind of like, ooh, but then as soon as it hit me, I was like, that is the one. So I went back to a book I used to read a lot when I was younger, from a series I read a lot when I was younger, that I absolutely adore. I credit a lot of my love for reading to this series because it's just incredible, and to this day one of the characters in these books remains like the book crush for me. So I've chosen Lurve as a mini trousered thing by Louise Renison, and these are from the like Georgia Nicholson, Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging books, for which they made a movie. The movie is like fun, but it's not the vibe of the book. I like both, but I kind of think of them as separate. At the end of this book, there is the most amazing scene between like my favorite guy and the main character. His name's Dave the Laugh, and book Dave the Laugh is so hot. Oh my god. Anyway, there's a kiss at the end of that book that is just stunning. This is my look. Yeah. Thank you for watching and listening to me ramble about makeup and books. I hope some of it was enjoyable and maybe like you heard about a book you hadn't heard much about before. Hopefully I have like more content coming on here, so maybe see you in the next one, and maybe see you on Instagram because I actually made a bookstagram finally, so that is the same as my channel name. It's caitliterature. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye.